Here are 7 great reasons to file for Social Security at age 62. Listen, if you want to retire at 62 and actually enjoy your life, instead of working yourself into the ground, waiting tables at 67, or being too sick to travel, I'm going to walk you through exactly why filing for Social Security at 62 might be the smartest money move that you ever make. Because here's what nobody tells you. You might not get another chance. So I'm Jason. I retired early at 39, and I spent years watching people in their 50s and 60s work themselves to exhaustion, worried sick about money, wondering if they're ever going to be okay. And I'll be honest with you, when it comes to Social Security, I used to believe that you should wait, delay until 67, maybe even 70, get that bigger check. I mean, the math made sense on paper. But the more I've learned, the more people I've talked to, the more I've realized that the math doesn't tell the whole story. These days, I think filing at 62 is the right move for most people. And today, I'm going to show you 7 great reasons why. And by the time that we're done here, you're going to understand why more people are filing at 62 than ever before. And it's not because they're bad with money. It's because they finally got tired of putting their life on hold. I want to tell you about my old coworker, Roger. Now, this guy, he was one of those guys who did everything right on paper. He saved his whole life, worked for 35 years straight, and he kept telling me, I'm waiting until 70. That's when I get the real money. And his wife, Betty, she would just shake her head every time he said it. She'd say, Roger, what are we waiting for? Our health could change tomorrow. But Roger was convinced. He believed in the math, and he believed that, well, you had to be patient. Then, 2 years before Roger turned 62, his brother died at 67, pancreatic cancer. Never collected a dime of Social Security. He was waiting too, and that shook Roger. It made him start questioning everything. So fast forward to when Roger turned 62, and this is when he was supposed to just keep grinding, right? Keep that job, keep saving, let those benefits marinate until they turn into real gold at 70. Except Roger's knees started giving him problems, and Betty started having signs of arthritis. And they both realized something that hit them like a ton of bricks. They weren't living. They were just, well, existing until some future version of retirement that might never come. That's why I'm walking you through the 7 reasons why filing at 62 might be exactly what you need to hear right now. Reason number 1, you're not guaranteed tomorrow. And look, this is going to sound dark, but it's the truth. The average person who makes it to 62 has about 22 more years to live. 22. But that's an average. I mean, some people live to 90, some people don't make it to 70. And here's what keeps a lot of people up at night: regrets. And Roger used to tell me, his voice cracking a little, I think about my brother a lot now. And the thing is, you can't get back the years that you didn't spend with your grandkids. You can't get back the money that you didn't take, the trips you didn't take, the joy that you didn't feel when you still had the health to enjoy it. I mean, this isn't about being reckless, it's about being honest. If you file at 62, you're essentially saying, I'm taking my money while I can still use it. That's not financial suicide, that's wisdom. Real quick, I went from working a job that I hated, stressed about never making enough money, to building real financial independence by my late 30s. Want to know how? By making the hard financial decisions early that most people avoid. And that's what this channel is about. So subscribe now, because I break down the strategies that actually work, not the ones that Wall Street wants you to believe. Reason number 2, the go-go years are real and they're limited. There's this thing that retirement researchers talk about called the go-go years. Those are the years, usually between 62 and 75, when you're still healthy enough to travel, hike, play with the grandkids, stay active. Then you hit 75 or 80 and things change. Your body's just different. Your energy's different. And when Roger finally hit 62, he sat down with Betty and did the math. Not the Social Security Administration math, their math. What could they do right now while they were still healthy? And that's when everything shifted for them. They filed at 62, and you know what else they did? They took a trip to Italy. See, Betty always wanted to see Rome. Roger had always wanted to walk through the Amalfi Coast. So they went, and they spent 2 weeks there. They came back the happiest that they'd been in a long time. And I can remember Betty told me later, we almost waited. We almost missed that. See, that's the part that nobody talks about. Not the dollars in your Social Security check, but the value of the time that you actually get to live. Reason number 3, work is exhausting your health. See, most people who file at 62 say the same thing. I'm just done. Not done with life, but done with work. I mean, think about what happens to your body when you work for 30 or 40 years. Roger, he worked in manufacturing, so his back was shot. His shoulders hurt. He was on blood pressure medication because the stress of the job was literally eating him alive. And he'd look at me and say, well, I know the check's bigger at 70, but will I even be here? And that stress isn't just uncomfortable, it's killing you. Like literally. There are studies that show that chronic work stress shortens your lifespan. So if you're working a job that's destroying your health just to get a bigger Social Security check 8 years from now, you might be doing the math backwards. Here's what actually happened with Roger. As I said earlier, he filed at 62. His blood pressure dropped, he started walking more, he slept better, and his doctor told him that his health improved more in 1 year in retirement than in the previous 5 years of working. Was his Social Security check smaller? Yeah, but he was healthier and happier, and he got to enjoy time with Betty while she was still really mobile. Reason number 4, you might have other income. And this is where people get confused. They think that filing for Social Security means that you're done working forever. That's not true. A lot of people file at 62 and then do something part-time, like consulting or freelance work, maybe a job that they actually enjoy that doesn't destroy their body. The earnings test on Social Security does withhold some money if you make over, I think it's $23,400 a year before full retirement age. But after that, there's no limit. Roger actually did this. He started a small business doing consulting for younger guys in manufacturing. He made decent money, not a fortune, but enough to make it worth it. And he got to be his own boss. He got to work when he wanted. He got to say no. The point is, filing early doesn't mean that you're broke. It means that you have choices, real choices. Okay, so stick with me here because the next reason is something that's probably holding most of you back. It's probably affecting your decision right now, whether you even realize it or not. Reason number 5, the health insurance question and the honest answer. Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room for a second. You're 62, right? You filed for Social Security, but Medicare doesn't kick in until 65. That's 3 years. 3 years where you need health insurance and you're not on Medicare yet. And I understand this scares a lot of people. And honestly, it should. I mean, health insurance premiums from 62 to 65 can run you anywhere from $500 to over $1,100 a month. I mean, we're talking potentially $18,000 to $40,000 over those 3 years. That's real money. But here's the thing that nobody actually tells you. There are solutions. The Affordable Care Act marketplace, subsidies, Medicaid. If your income is lower because you're taking Social Security but not working full-time, you might actually qualify for bigger subsidies. Plus, if your spouse is still working, you might be covered under their plan until you hit 65. Roger and Betty, they actually did this. Betty was still working part-time, so she kept her employer coverage. Roger got on a marketplace plan and found out that he qualified for subsidies because his income was lower. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. The point is, don't let the health insurance fear stop you from living. There are bridges between 62 and 65. You just have to know where to look. I have a question for you guys. Let me know in the comments because I really want to know. What's stopping you from filing at 62? Is it the fear that you'll miss out on money? Or is it something deeper, like you're not sure that you'll have enough saved? Let me know in the comments below because I read every single one of them. Reason number 6, your benefit might be enough if you actually planned for it. This might be hard to hear, but most people don't plan at all. They just retire, and then they wonder why they're stressed. Of course, a Social Security check at 62 is smaller than at 67 or 70. I mean, that's math. But if you've done the real work, paid off your house, gotten out of debt, have some savings, a check between $1,200 and $1,800 a month might actually be enough. Oh, and another thing, you have to know your numbers. What do you actually spend? What do you own versus what you owe? How much do you have saved? Roger and Betty did this the hard way. They sat down and wrote down every single expense. Rent, food, utilities, insurance, car payment, everything. And you know what? They realized that between Social Security, a pension that Roger had from an old job, and some modest savings, that they could actually make it work. It wasn't luxurious, but it was real and it was stable. Now, reason number 7, time is the one thing that you can't get back. All right, so this is the big one. Like, this is what really changed everything for Roger and Betty. See, money is a tool, right? It's important. I'm not saying it's not. But time, time is your actual life. You know what I mean? Every day that you're choosing to work instead of spending time with people you love, every day that you're choosing to wait for someday, you're trading something that you literally can't get back. Roger used to say this thing to me. He'd go, "Nope, I can always make more money. I can't make more time." And honestly, he figured that out at 62. Some people don't figure that out until like 75 or something. And by then, Betty's arthritis has gotten way worse. Roger's knees are completely shot. And all those vacations that they kept talking about, yeah, they're not happening anymore. So Roger and Betty, they got 8 really good years together after he filed at 62. 8 years of actually traveling, of spending time with their grandkids, of just being alive instead of waiting around. Unfortunately, Betty's health declined a lot after that. Her arthritis, it got a lot worse. And eventually she passed away just last year from heart-related complications. But Roger told me something that stuck with me. He said the best investment that he ever made was filing at 62. Because those 8 years when Betty was still healthy enough to really enjoy life, they were worth more than any amount of money ever could be. See, here's the numbers that people don't tell you. Sure, if you live to 85 or 90, waiting to file pays off, mathematically, right? But that's assuming that you stay healthy, that you can keep working, that you actually get to enjoy it. The average American dies at about 78 to 79 years old. Most of you watching this are probably gonna live past that. But some of you won't. And here's the thing, none of you get to choose how many years you have left. What you can choose though, what you do with those years that you've got right now. Honestly, thank you so much for watching. These videos only exist because of people like you watching them. If you want more retirement insights, watch this next video. I'll see you in the next one.